Hey, what's up, everybody? I hope everybody had a great Monday and a great start to this week. I had posted yesterday that I had a new video coming soon, and tonight I want to talk about credit limit increases and how they actually affect your credit score. I was talking to a good friend of mine this weekend, and they had a concern about, hey, my credit limit got increased. And I said, man, what a great idea for a video. And what I wanted to do was jump right into it. I promise this won't be too long. I'm actually going to make it pretty short. With credit limit increases, there's a couple of things, and I want to kill some of the perceptions. A lot of people think if your credit limit increase, that it will affect your credit score, and it actually will, but in a positive way. I think I posted a couple of times where with utilization, I'm going to give a couple of examples. If you have, say, let's say a $1,000 credit limit and your balance is $300, then you've used 30% of your credit utilization. 300 divided by 1,000 is going to give you 30%. If you use $100 of your $1,000 credit limit, then you're looking at a 10% credit limit increase. Now, the experts say never, not saying don't go over, but maybe sure before your statement post, make sure you're no higher than 30% utilization. There will be times where you're going to go past 30%, and that's understandable. I know I've done it, but if at all possible, don't go over 30%. But where the credit limit increase come in, let's say you have a $1,000 credit limit and your balance is $300, you're at 30%. But then let's say they increase your credit limit to $3,000. You take that same $300 balance divided by $3,000. Now you're at a 10% credit utilization. A lot of times creditors will say, hey, he or she is using their credit to their advantage. They're not overutilizing. They're not running it up. And you're at 10%, you're at a greater ratio. And then that will increase your credit limit. I remember when I first started, I had no idea about anything with this. I think my first credit card, and I mean recently, like in the last 10 years, they gave me a $500 limit. I think I mentioned it before. Recently, and it was scary. I'm going to get into that. Recently, when I apply for a credit card, I get somewhere between a $15,000 and a $25,000 credit limit. And I still get afraid, but the fear is people tend to know they have that high credit limit and go buck wild. Excuse my language if that's offending anybody, but they go buck wild. They, the latest wallet or the latest watch or the latest pair of shoes. Let me go buy some new furniture. And that's not how you do it. What I personally try to do, I don't even believe in 30%. I try to keep my utilization down to 10% total across all credit cards. This one may be at 25%. This one may be at 30%. But then I may have 5 cards that I don't have any balance on. So it kind of balances out. So you want to make sure that you definitely don't go over 30. If at all possible, the best way to do it is not have a balance at all. And sometimes that is not feasible. It's not even feasible for me. I may have balances on my cards, but if at all possible, I will not exceed 10% of my utilization. Another thing I wanted to talk about is when a credit card issue offer you a credit limit increase, the first thing I would ask is, do you have to do a hard inquiry on my credit? If they do, that's still not a problem, but keep in mind, they're going to pull your credit report. Initially, it's going to take your credit score down, maybe 2 points, maybe 1 point, maybe 3 points, who knows? But once that utilization starts to report, it's only going to increase your credit. It's not a bad thing. But let's say Capital One. I know with Capital One, they tend to review your credit every 5 or 6 months. They'll automatically increase your credit. They don't really have to recheck your credit. They're looking at the history that they have with you. Don't turn it down. Now, if you're not disciplined and you can't maintain a lower balance, then you may not want to accept the credit limit increase. But if you're like me, if I have any card that's at $1,000, I'm not going to say I'm freaking out, but I'm not happy. And the first thing I want to do is find a way to get that back down. Even if I'm below 10%, I just don't like to have over $1,000. I have some cards with 5-figure credit limits, and that's fine. But I don't ever see me putting 5 figures on a credit card, and not so much as utilization, but it's just, I know how it can get out of hand. I was one of those people where you give me a credit card, you increase my limit, I've already gone shopping. I haven't stepped out of the house. I'm going to get this. I'm going to get that. I can't wait to use this card. But in reality, as you get into not necessarily the traveling points game, but as you get into maintaining and watching and monitoring your score, you really don't want to have a high balance. If it gets to that point, then I'm sorry, as much as I've been preaching travel, points, miles, use your credit card. If it gets to that point and you think you're out of control, revert back to your debit card, because that doesn't affect your credit. However, if you can maintain discipline, anytime they offer you a credit limit increase, they being the creditors, Capital One, Bank of America, Chase, American Express, the first thing I would ask, will you have to pull my credit or do a hard inquiry on my credit? If they do, then you need to decide whether it's a good time to do that or maybe not a good time to do that, and then scale back and say, okay, yeah, this is a good time. I'll go ahead and pull my credit, and if you increase my limit, good, it'll help me in the long run. Now, one thing I will leave you with this whole credit limit increase thing, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Exercise discipline. And one of the things I was talking to my friend about this weekend, if they do it, they're not pulling your credit, take it. It'll only help you in the long run. It don't mean you have to use it. It's scary if I probably think about all my credit limits put together, but I know I will never get to that level. Never, ever, ever get to that level. I'm not going to make this too long. I promise I'll keep it short, but I did want to talk about credit limit increases. Remember, with your utilization, you want to stay at 30% or less. That's according to all the people in credit card land. According to raw land, you kind of want to stay at 10%. Those that have the higher credit scores tend to stay at 10%. Do me a favor, don't forget, if you got something out of this video, if it benefited you, please like it. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I am posting this on Instagram. I'm posting it on the Facebook page. I'm posting it in the Facebook VIP group. So it's going to be all across all spectrums, but there are comments everywhere. If you have any questions, I have no problem addressing it. If you say, hey, Rod, I have a question, but I don't want to put it out to everyone, I will make a way where I can contact you, and it'll be a one-on-one thing. Again, remember, I hope everybody had a great start to your week. Hope you have a blessed and prosperous week. And remember, if you shoot for the moon, and if you don't make it, you'll be amongst the stars. Hope everybody have a good week. Thanks.